All right, kids, we have been studying character a lot this week. So we've been talking about character traits, which are the describing words that you can use for how a character is, what their identity is, the things that they do, the things that they like. So we're going to extend that a little bit today into writing. So we've in our writing focus so far, we've been talking about habits that writers have. So the first day it was writers write, and then we had writers use creativity to make their writing more interesting. And now I want to get into how a writer might build their work around a character. So you can start with the idea of a character and build stories and situations around the character because of their character traits. So the way that that I'm gonna illustrate this is I'm gonna start here in our homeroom, and I'm gonna pop out our classroom here and go to our Epic page. I'm gonna go into the student guest account. I'm gonna be asking you today to also go on to Epic in one of your other classes, but so this is an example of how to do that. You enter your class code, and if you've already done it once, it should show up here, but it's RZH 3900, and just as a reminder, you can see that it's actually right here on the icon. So you don't have to guess at what the code is, it's already there. Um, you're going to enter your class code, you're going to go in, and now for this lesson, I'm going to go to the guest student. Down here, I'm going to go to the guest student, and I'm going to search for a character so I'm going to put in Scaredy Squirrel and see what comes up. Oh, look at all those books about Scaredy Squirrel. But Melanie Watt here has created a character that is pretty easy to write about. So that's kind of the big idea today, is that you can build books or stories around a character. And if your character has really strong character traits, then those character traits will stay with that character in whatever situation they're in. So if you uh, look back, in the first one, we're getting introduced to Scaredy Squirrel, but you can see we've got Scaredy Squirrel in a number of different situations. This is a character-driven um, story series. So the character is easy to write about in different situations because the character is who he is. So I would encourage you to start thinking about characters that you can create and you can develop and put that character into different situations and see what would happen as you're creating stories around that character. Okay, so I'd like to read one of these stories to you as encouragement for you to create your own awesome character in your writing today. And, the way that writing works is it might not click right away. You might not come up with a character that's just your character with interesting personality traits today. But what we're doing today is we're planting the seeds for the future. You're getting the idea that, oh, I can create a character too. I can be the author that creates an interesting character, and I put that character in different situations, and all of a sudden I've got all these great stories. All right, let's get started. Scaredy Squirrel. I love these books. They're so funny. So right on the inside cover it says, "Warning: Scaredy Squirrel insists that everyone wash their hands with antibacterial soap before reading this book." So the author was joking when she wrote this, but now in the times of COVID, this takes on new meaning. Um, it actually sounds like an appropriate warning, especially if you're sharing the book with others. So I can flip the pages like this. It's for Francine and Hubert. This is Scaredy Squirrel by Melanie Watt, and it's published by Kids Can Press. Scaredy Squirrel never leaves his nut tree. He'd rather stay in his safe and familiar tree than risk venturing out into the unknown. The unknown can be a scary place for a squirrel. So this whole area here is the unknown. A few things Scaredy Squirrel is afraid of: green Martians, killer bees, tarantulas, poison ivy, germs, sharks. That seems like a funny thing for a squirrel to be afraid of. But you can see she's developed just kind of a funny way of approaching this writing about her character, the Scaredy Squirrel. So she's putting in some kind of ridiculous things and some things that might be not so ridiculous as well. It's part of the comedy of Melanie Watt's writing. So he's perfectly happy to stay right where he is. Advantages of never leaving the nut tree: great view, plenty of nuts, safe place, no spiders, poison ivy, Martians, bees, germs, or sharks. Notice how Melanie Watt, she included the illustrations here instead of the words, so you can tell the story in pictures as well as words, and I encourage you to do that in your writing as well. Disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree: same old view, same old nuts, same old place. So you can see that he might have an idea to go somewhere else and try new things, but he might be a little bit too scared to do that. So here we've got the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In Scaredy Squirrel's nut tree, every day is the same. Everything's predictable. All is under control. So this character really depends on having everything under control and being able to predict what's going to happen. Kind of the opposite of being a risk taker. Scaredy Squirrel's daily routine: 6:45 a.m. Wake up. Whoops. 7 a.m. Eat a nut. 7:15 a.m. Look at view. 12 noon. Eat a nut. 12:30 p.m. Look at view. 5 o'clock p.m. Eat a nut. 5:31 p.m. Look at view. 8 o'clock p.m. Go to sleep. That does indeed seem pretty predictable. You see how the author has sort of organized her writing and has pictures to help support the reader's understanding. You can do that in your writing as well. And she is using this character to build the entire story. But let's say, just for example, that something unexpected did happen. You can rest assured that this squirrel is prepared. A few items in Scaredy Squirrel's emergency kit. He's got a hard hat, antibacterial soap, calamine lotion for poison ivy, parachute, bug spray, mask and rubber gloves, a net, a Band-Aid, and sardines. I'm pretty sure squirrels are vegetarian, so I'm not really sure about that. But this is comedy, so the idea that he's carrying sardines in his emergency kit is kind of funny. What to do in case of an emergency according to Scaredy Squirrel. Step 1, panic. Step 2, run. Step 3, get kit. Step 4, put on kit. Step 5, consult exit plan. Step 6, Exit tree if there is absolutely, definitely, truly no other option. And here is a dramatization. That means he's done all the steps and he's ready to exit the tree. He's got all the safety equipment on all at the same time. Okay, his exit plan is top secret. Exit 1, note to self, watch out for green Martians and killer bees in the sky. Exit 2, note to self, do not land in river. If unavoidable, use sardines to distract sharks. Oh, so there's the reason for the sardines. Exit 3, note to self, look out for poison ivy and for tarantulas roaming the ground. Exit 4, note to self, keep in mind that germs are everywhere. Remember, if all else fails, playing dead is always a good option. I am here, so this is his tree, and these are the different ways he can get out. Very creative writing. Um, so this author is doing all the things that we've talked about so far. Oh, look, he's looking all over the place. With his emergency kit in hand, Scaredy Squirrel watches. Day after day, he watches until one day, Thursday, 9:37 a.m. Take a look. So the author is also the illustrator in this case, and in your stories, you are the author and illustrator. She's telling part of the story through the pictures that are not in the words. Or this part of the picture story is not in the words. So that's a technique that you can use as well, like advancing the story through the pictures. A killer bee appears! Scaredy Squirrel jumps in panic, knocking his emergency kit out of the tree. This was not part of the plan. Scaredy Squirrel jumps to catch his kit. He quickly regrets this idea. The parachute is in the kit, but something incredible happens. He starts to glide. Scaredy Squirrel is no ordinary squirrel. He's a flying squirrel. He feels overjoyed, adventurous, carefree, alive, until he lands in a bush. Score 5.7. Scaredy Squirrel forgets all about the killer bee, not to mention the tarantulas, poison ivy, green Martians, germs, and sharks. And plays dead. 30 minutes later, 1 hour later, 2 hours later. Finally, Scaredy Squirrel realizes that nothing horrible is happening in the unknown today, so he returns to his nut tree. All this excitement has inspired Scaredy Squirrel to make drastic changes to his life. Scaredy Squirrel's new and improved daily routine. 6:45 a.m. wake up. 7 o'clock a.m. eat a nut. 7:15 a.m. look at view. 9:37 a.m. jump into the unknown. Oh, that's new. There he is, being a risk taker now. 9:45 a.m. play dead. 2 hours later, 11:45 a.m. return home. 12 noon, eat a nut. 12:30 p.m. look at view. 5 p.m. eat a nut. 5:31 p.m. look at view. 8 o'clock p.m. go to sleep. P.S. As for the emergency kit, Scaredy Squirrel is in no hurry to pick it up just yet. Here's poison ivy. The kit is in the poison ivy, and the end. Okay, so at the end of the book here, you're going to see that there's a quiz. I am going to ask you to do things like the activities that go along with the books. But for this story, our focus was building a story around a character. So I'm encouraging you in your writing to start developing a character that you can put into different situations and build stories around that character in those different situations. You can do it. You're super smart. You're capable. You're creative. And if you're struggling with the words, it's okay to draw a lot of pictures. You should be trying to write some words, but it is perfectly fine to be telling stories through pictures. Good luck. Do your best, and use the rest of your writing block to try to develop a character that might fit into different situations. And if you're stuck and you can't figure out that idea, go ahead and just keep on writing some of the things that you've already started.